How's it going, guys? It is Foxydude here. Welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2021 Mercedes Mods career mode for you guys today on the channel. We are here for the Spanish Grand Prix, round number 4 of the season. Of course, I'm doing 16 races in this current season. If you end up enjoying today's video, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and let's get straight into it then. So we're going to quickly have a look at the R&D tree and see where we're at. So as you can see, on the chassis side of things, we are top of the group, or the performance comparison chart for the chassis side of things by quite some margin over Red Bull. Of course, we've been doing a lot of chassis weight reduction upgrades, which are really helping out with the car. Of course, the next time we try and do a weight reduction, of course, it will be a major upgrade, but there are plenty more to go on that side. Before we can go over to this section, I want to go over and start working on the brakes a little bit to really help me out in that section. Aerodynamics, we are far clear of Red Bull, but we do have a front downforce upgrade that we can start preparing for. Engine side of things, we're second in the table, but Aston Martin are ahead of us, but Red Bull, as you can see, have got the slowest power unit on the grid. And then durability-wise, we're sort of mid-table, but we are looking to purchase a major gearbox upgrade, and then that can free us up for 2 of the major ones. Obviously, which is what's quite weird, is that every first upgrade for our durability is major, which is a bit annoying. But obviously, I want to do this also for Lewis Hamilton's sake, so he doesn't have to take too many penalties. Engine-wise, our engine is quite worn, but we're going to use it again for this Grand Prix, and hopefully try and use it again for Monaco. It'll be a big stretch, but we're going to give it a go. But if you end up enjoying today's video, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new here as well. And here are the standings as well. You can see them there on your screen. So we're going to go straight now into round number 4. Okay, so here we are then for the start of qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix. And you're about to see Rusty Foxy back in action here, because I have done F1 journey recording, which means that I don't remember how to play the normal game. So yeah, we're going to be back to our old slow and rusty self. Obviously, in the Dutch Grand Prix, I did that literally just after the Chinese Grand Prix, so I was comfortable. Obviously, this time around, I'm not. So yeah, it's going to be a struggle once again this episode, but hey, it adds a bit of a challenge, so let's get on with it. Alright, so we've crossed the line. We've just set ourselves a 15.6. It's a half a second slower than Lewis Hamilton, which is actually not too bad, because the lap was crap. It was so bad. So we'll take that half a second off. It's not the end of the world. It's actually a lot better than I thought. So we should be able to get to Q2 on that lap time. So we'll take it and we'll go back to the garage with that one. Right, well there we go then, guys. We've made it through into Q2. Verstappen fastest in Q1 ahead of the 2 Ferraris, and then Hamilton, Albon then in P5, and we are there in P6. Comfortably through into the next session, but again, Q2 is going to be very, very important. We'll just skip that through now. Basically, again, just like in Spain, just like in Bahrain, just like in Spain, just like in China, and just like in Bahrain, you want to get through on the medium compound tyres, because running soft, doing a 2-stop around here is suicide, really, because the softs just don't last. Be great for action of overtaking, but obviously I need to get through on these medium compound tyres, so we're going to strap those on. And then we're going to quickly go ahead and drop all the fuel out. We were quick in the first and middle sector compared to Hamilton. We just lost all our time in the final sector. So we just need to make sure we get the braking points right for the final sector, and we should be fine. But I really do want to get through on the medium compound tyres. So let's see if we can try and do it. If we can't, we'll have to go for on the softs, and we'll have to do a little bit of an aggressive race. This felt like a much cleaner lap than in Q1. So much so that I've actually matched my time from Q1, 15.6. Quite a few drivers going out there on the medium compound tyres. Verstappen's out on softs. Vettel's qualified on softs. We're about 0.6 of a second behind them. Let's go. I have to go back into the garage and have a look at the times quickly, see where we're at in terms of performance to the drivers. I think we should be good. But P3, where's Lewis in all of this? He hasn't set a lap yet. We'll wait for Lewis to set his. Where is he? There he is. He's going out on the soft compound tyres, so he doesn't want to do a one-stopper. He wants to start on the soft, so we should see Hamilton go to the top of the timing sheets then any moment now with a 14.5. Bloody hell. Right, that's him fastest, but we're currently P5. Ricciardo behind, and Norris are 0.7 behind me. Just about getting into Q3. 1/10 of a second separated me from being in Q3 and being out, but crucially, we now have medium compound tyres to start the race on. I had to get that medium compound tyre there, so perfect, absolutely perfect. Now into Q3 with the mediums starting the race. Now we can see how close we are to Lewis Hamilton. I feel pretty comfortable, but I think Lewis has got the pace. First lap in Q3, it's going to be a 14.9. It's a tenth of a second slower than Max Verstappen. I made quite a few mistakes on that lap, so there's... If I put a perfect lap together, I think there's about maybe 3/10 to find, which is encouraging. Lewis Hamilton yet to set his final flying lap. So Red Bull coming into their own around 2, which is interesting, but there's more time to find. Good banker lap. We go again. It was an incredibly scruffy lap from myself. We're going to come towards the line now. Is that enough to at least get us onto the front row? No, it's not. It's only going to be P3, unfortunately, for the Spanish Grand Prix. I couldn't get a good lap together. The first lap was pretty poor. Second lap was also pretty poor. Jesus. Okay. Alright. 1 minute 14 dead, and I'm down here with a 14.7. Jesus Christ on ice skates. Well, we certainly didn't get pole. Max Verstappen also improved. He improved to a 14.5. Yeah, unfortunately it was a messy Q3, but we are currently in a good position, starting P3, and of course we've got the medium compound tyres, so we're still in good shape, but yeah, bit annoyed about that.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Thomas, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Stroll and Lando Norris, Ocon, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat and Magnussen, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Sergio Perez. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Russell and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Right, so here we go then. It is time to start the Spanish Grand Prix, and as you can see, it looks like the drivers on their soft compound tyres will go to lap 7, but I'm pretty sure that's on a brand new set because I saved one. So they'll probably only be able to go like 5 or 6 laps on their tyres before they've got to do 2 medium stints. For us, we can just do medium hards, get track position, and we'll be absolutely fine. So let's get straight into this race then. Let's see if we can try and jump maybe Verstappen off the line. That'd be good if we can do that. So here we go. Worst case scenario, we'll just jump the both of them off the line. Bingo was his name-o. Get the car slow for T1. Lovely. Couldn't have asked for a better start than that. I literally didn't even expect that type of start. Verstappen and Hamilton scrapping behind. You do that. I will not look at my phone during a race. That's very bad, Tom. Don't do that. Oh, Lewis is trying to... What are you trying to do? What he's trying to do? He's trying to make a move on me. One of it. Hold the outside.
Great first lap.
There we go. Jeff constantly warning me about engine performance. I'm very much aware of that. I can see that the ICE is on 71%. This is going to be a risky race for this ICE. That's for sure. But apart from that, I actually have no pace right now. Yes, I'm leading, but I'm not really doing that well, in all honesty. A couple of consecutive fastest laps from us now. We definitely started to get into the groove here. Lewis is keeping up with me, but he is obviously A, on the soft tyres, and B, he's just in my DRS, but I'm not that concerned because I know that he's just going to drop back in traffic when he pits, so I'm fine with him being there. So far, though, race going good for us. Right, Lewis pits, so too does Max. So they're going to come in for their medium compound tyres. Now, it's going to be critical on where they feed out. I haven't necessarily done the tactic of slowing them down and then letting them back up into the pack, because the pit stop will do all that work for me, really. So let's have a look. Ocon is through. Yeah, they're way down the field. Literally just opened the door for me to just have a clean race. Right then, guys, it is now lap 13 of the Grand Prix. Time to pit. Front left is getting pretty worn. Fabulous first stint. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Hamilton did just set the fastest lap of the race on a 1 minute 18.5. But throughout that entire stint, apart from like one lap where I made a mistake, you know, I've not been like over a second slower than my personal best. I think it was not this lap, but the previous lap. I was on for a personal best, but I spun up the rear tyres in the final corner. And as we come out of the pits now, there is everyone, and we're still in front of Lewis Hamilton. And we're on fresh set hard compound tyres now, and we're just going to stroll it to the end. Hamilton has still got to pass all these cars that he's stuck behind. He's currently stuck behind Fiat. That's fine. I'll just breeze off now into the distance. And failing that, if there is a safety car that comes out to curtail me, hopefully Lewis would have pitted by then, and I'll just put a fresh set of mediums on. Bit of a wheel spin there though on the exit. But now, whilst we've got fresh tyres, and Hamilton is stuck in traffic, because he's going to get about a couple of laps where he'll be free of clear air, I'm just going to quickly blitz it a little bit and build a gap. Ooh, Magnussen's out of the race. No safety car or VSC for it. He's parked up just towards turn 4. Hamilton is actually rapid. I'm not even going to like lie about it. Oh, there you go. Just 17.6. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Lewis is absolutely rapid. And he knows he's got to push because he needs to get out in front of the drivers that have stopped. Right, now this may seem like a really stupid idea, but I'm actually going to pit for a second time, as you can see. The tyre wear's absolutely fine, so the question is why am I doing this? I'm just going to because I can. I'm just going to throw on a fresh set of medium compound tyres and just go. The hard tyres were fine, but I don't know, I just felt a lot more happier on the medium tyres. I've got the gap to do it, so I'm just going to pit, get on a fresh set of mediums. Plus then we'll have the tyre advantage over Lewis. Yes, our tyres will wear out, but I've waited a little bit. So on this stint we'll only have to do 11 laps, whereas in the first stint we had to do like 13, 14. Plus we've got less fuel in the car. We're already still 4 seconds clear, and yeah, like I said, I just prefer the mediums, so considering I've got the gap to do it, might as well. Because Lewis is only just going to close in otherwise on his hard tyres. He might still close in now, and this might have been a stupid idea, but I'm trusting myself. Oh, we've got another yellow flag. It looks like it's going to be for Carlos Sainz, the McLaren, going towards the end of the middle sector onto the DRS straight. Sainz is out.
The turbocharger is on its last legs.
And now Jeff is warning me about engine components, which are really worn right now. There are my engine components, by the way, in case you wanted to check them. Which is interesting for me because it just shows where I need to improve the reliability of the car. Because this is only race 4. And they're already, well, dead. And my issue now is I can't really use these components for Monaco. Monaco being a track where you don't need the engine, but I'm going to have to put in a new engine, which is really annoying. Pretty much also guarantees that in this season I'm going to have to take grip penalties. And I'll do those probably at Spa and Monza, probably do them at both circuits. Just get 2 new engines and then just use those for the rest of the season. But, and then just do a last question mark with those ones. But for now, that's probably another reason why Lewis is so fast, actually. Depends on what engine components he's on, how much more worn they are. Obviously, I'm running a high downforce setup as well, because it's Barcelona. But if Lewis is using a fresher engine, then it would make sense as to how he's got the pace. He is still catching me, 4.5 seconds now the gap, but I think we've got it covered off now for the rest of the race. So, yeah, we're just going to bring this one home. Well, there we go then. Through the final chicane. Hamilton's giving it absolutely everything to close this down. But it's not going to be enough. We're going to win the Spanish Grand Prix, and I think that makes it 3 race wins in a row now, winning at China, Zandvoort, and then also here at the Circuit de Catalunya. And I think it's quite clear, strategy was key in order for me to win that Grand Prix. As you can tell, Lewis Hamilton had the pace from start to finish. He was much, much quicker. Honestly, actually pitting for the medium compound tyres, in hindsight, was the wrong choice. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I did. I didn't even get the fastest lap either. Lewis still got the fastest lap, but yeah, I think in hindsight, going back onto the mediums was probably the wrong choice. They actually did wear out a little bit faster that time around than what I thought they would have. But at the end of the day, we still pick up the victory. Verstappen there claiming P3. Of course, Lewis Hamilton picking up second place without the top step. But in qualifying, Lewis Hamilton was much quicker than us. We got a much better start. Kept with us in the first stint. But yeah, the fact that we did the theoretical one-stop strategy, even though we did two, paid dividends. Apart from that, yeah, Hamilton was just so much quicker than us. So yeah, we got away lucky with that one to win this Grand Prix. We definitely shouldn't have, but we did. So there you can see then, we managed to win the Grand Prix. Hamilton, fastest lap with a 16.5, meaning that he picks up the bonus point. Verstappen finishes third ahead of Lando Norris, then Esteban Ocon, Leclerc, and then Gasly, then it's Albon, Fiat, and then Vettel. And then we've got Stroll, Grosjean, Ricciardo, Perez, Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi, Giovinazzi, Sainz, Magnussen. The two of them DNFing from the Grand Prix. And then looking at the Drivers' Championship, you can see that we are top of the table by 17 points over Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen 41 points back. Leclerc gets in front of Albon, Stroll, Perez, Ocon, Gasly, and then Lando Norris rounding off the top 10 for all of that. And then there are the rest of the drivers that have got points. Constructors Championship, then we are now 90 points clear of Red Bull Racing, of course. It's pretty much going to be like this because we are obviously at a Mercedes, but the purpose of this series is that I just want to do a championship with Mercedes and try and win it. Aston Martin in third ahead of Ferrari, who are tied on points with them. Alpine in fifth, and then it's AlphaTauri, McLaren, Haas, Alfa Romeo, and then Williams rounding off the drivers and constructors. So let's get back into the laptop and make some upgrades. Right, so we are now back at the laptop, and we can either A, try and make an upgrade now, or we can try and make one in time for the next race. Now, what I want to do is I'm actually going to skip ahead to when I get those weekly resources. Main reason being is because I actually want to go ahead and purchase an engine upgrade. It sounds silly, but what I want is, as you can see, it will arrive before the Canadian Grand Prix. And I want, because we're going to have the likes of Canada. In fact, let me go to the calendar actually, just to showcase that. So you can see that after this Monaco Grand Prix, we've then got the Canadian Grand Prix, the Austrian Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix, the Belgian Grand Prix, and the Italian Grand Prix. All massive power circuits. So we really do need to start thinking about that side. But that's where we're going to leave things off. Of course, we will have to think about our engine components. No matter what, we're going to have to take an engine penalty. It's inevitable. I'm not going to have enough time to do... When is this even going to come in? Just after the Monaco Grand Prix, so we'll get that after then. And then hopefully from then on in, the ICE, which is by here, I'll definitely do an upgrade on the ICE because it just gets so badly worn that, yeah, we need to get that onto the car. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's episode of my F1 2021 Mod Career with Mercedes-Benz. If you guys have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. I'll see you guys next time for the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm out. Peace.